The Business for Unicorns podcast is for fitness business owners who want actionable strategies to grow their business, take amazing care of their clients, and build a life and business they truly love. I'm your host, Michael Keeler, co-founder of Mark Fisher Fitness, and through Business for Unicorns, I'm a coach and consultant to industry-leading fitness studios around the world. Let's get started.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another Business for Unicorns podcast. Today's a bonus episode with me and Pete. Pete, how you doing?
It's Friday. It's always Friday when we do these. I love it. I'm always in a good mood.
We are nearing the end of the work week, and today's going to be a quickie. We have a topic that we want to share with you that has been on our mind lately because it's something that has noticed a trend with a lot of people that we talk to, both informally with some of our unicorn society clients, and I must confess, even something that I think I struggle with at times. And that is not taking the time to really identify where you need help in your business. And this is the way I'd like to frame this up for you. Oftentimes, people in the world that want to be helpful, which I appreciate, and this is a positive thing, so I don't mean to make this sound glib, will be like, well, what can I do to help? How can I help support your business? And a lot of times the answer is, I don't know. I don't know what you could do to help. Now, sometimes it's because this individual doesn't have a skill set or any actual utility in helping you with the actual things you need help. But sometimes it's because we're so in the weeds of our business, we haven't really identified what is actually the thing that we need help with. Now, downstream, usually the thing we need help with is more personal take-home income, which is a function of more revenue, which is a function of more clients, which is a function of more leads. But outside of that, there are a number of things at any given moment that could be preventing an issue in the business. And the thing that I'd like to offer here that is important is, I know we've been hammering for a long time now, this concept of a quarterly plan, of getting out of the business, taking ideally full day, maybe a half day offsite, maybe doing it with the Unicorn Society, getting all the potential things you could work on in a row, organizing them, and then prioritizing them, and then going after the most important thing. However, what perhaps we've not emphasized quite as much is the importance of doing this on an ongoing basis. So it is very difficult for you to make progress in your business and get and or receive help if you don't know what it is that you need help with. Pete, anything you'd like to share on that topic?
Probably best that I just explain to you how I identify these things in my own world. I think most of us are to-do list people to a degree. And there's a pretty consistent trend in the things that get kicked forward one day to the next on my to-do list. And it's the things that I don't like to do. But the problem is us entrepreneurs pride ourselves on wearing all the hats and being so independent and self-sufficient that there are just basics that I need to be better about delegating to my team or outsourcing assistance on. And for example, I kicked my workers' comp annual audit down my to-do list for like 5 consecutive weeks before I finally called my insurance guy. And I was like, will you just do this for me? I was like, of course, it'll take me 10 minutes. And I was like, well, it's been stressing me out multiple days a week for multiple weeks, gathering 941s and 1099s and all that stuff. Like, I don't know why I think I need to do this. I pay you guys enough money. Please do this thing. Usually deep on my to-do list is the stuff that I keep at the bottom. So I'm like, I'll get to it at the end of the day. And I know that's not Time Ninja friendly. I know the rules, but I have bad habits. I think that the things that you need help on are already in front of you in plain sight, and you know it. You just haven't taken the time to just kick them to a more capable person. That's my experience.
Yeah, and it's an interesting paradigm there to consider that the things you need help on, sometimes you need external help, right? Because we could probably bifurcate this between 2 types of core issues. There's issues that we know we need to solve, and we at least have a sense of what to do to solve it. And maybe we are procrastinating on it. Maybe we're delaying it. Maybe we are, for whatever reason, unable to make the time to do the thing. And then there's issues that we need help on, but we're not actually sure how to solve. And this latter category really often benefits from outside help of some kind. This could be anything from certainly working with a coach is a common way of doing it, but could also be maybe perhaps looking for a course to take, a conference to attend, a book to read, though admittedly, sometimes reading a full book for one issue might be more than is necessary, depending on, I think, how big of an issue it is in your skill set. But I think it's important to delineate between these two different challenges. They're both challenges. They both prevent issues. But when you're not sure how to actually solve the thing, that is a challenge. And then I would offer to that perhaps a third bucket, which is issues that you have that you just haven't taken the time to identify are issues. Now, admittedly, we never know what we don't know. Sometimes invariably we have knowledge gaps where we are unable to determine that in spite of our best efforts. And I'm not talking about that here so much as the types of challenges, issues we could determine if we just spent 10 minutes thinking about the issue. Now, some of this could be solved in some of the things that Keir and I covered in a recent podcast about taking time out of the business, potentially a once a week, 30-minute with a pen and paper and a nice strong coffee, thinking about the business and identifying where the challenges are. Because in many ways, this becomes sort of a micro version of the quarterly planning process. Because of course, as the saying goes, the plans never work, but planning always does. Most of you know the metaphor that a plane leaving from LA to New York with an infinitesimally small off kilter will wind up in Boston or something very extreme like that, right? So if we're not course correcting throughout the quarter, that's not great. And it requires taking time to think deeply on the business. And it might be an interesting exercise for you to identify, were you to take up such a thing, identify those three buckets. What are the issues that you know you have in the business that you know how to solve, but you just haven't figured out how to have the capacity to do? What are the issues that you know you have in the business, but you don't know how to solve, for which you might need more help and resources? And then are there things that are issues in the business that you just haven't identified yet because you haven't been thinking about, okay, what is the core issue here, right? Because one other thing I'll offer to this conversation is sometimes we are solving the symptoms of something else that is really the root issue. And that is another challenge that one will have if you don't think deeply about the challenges you're having in your business, is you can spend a lot of time focusing on symptoms when really there's a root issue that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, one thing you said that really stuck with me was this concept of we don't know what we don't know. And one of the things that's really jumped out to me since joining you guys, the Unicorn Society community, is that there's a lot of tech out there that I just didn't even think to integrate into my business. So I'd encourage the listener to beware the habit of the don't fix what isn't broken mindset. Like, this is the way we've always done it. And get out and just talk to other gym owners, talk to other business owners, because there's just a ton of missed opportunity from that tech perspective or service provider perspective. And you might be doing things in a wildly inefficient way, but believing it to be efficient. And that has been kind of enlightening for me, realizing that what worked great for us from 2007 to 2021 is pretty dated in a lot of ways. And so get out there and talk to other people, because there's stuff that you don't know how much easier your life could be if you just explore what other people are doing. Grab a meal with a fellow gym owner. Ask them how they're running payroll. Ask them who's handling their merchant services accounts. Ask them, just pick brains, have some fun. And you're going to realize that you have some things, some institutional knowledge that you take for granted that could change their business as well. So something to think about. Yeah,
the tech piece seems to me something that is going to be an ongoing challenge. And I will resist the urge to go on a classic Mark style rant, techno-utopian, techno-terrified about
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, the speed of technological disruption obviously is not going to be slowing down. So even in my relatively short time in the industry, at least owning a gym, we're now on the 10-year anniversary. And in some ways, it's shocking to think the way that our business interacts with software platforms, the way that has changed. And it is incredibly difficult, I think, for many owner operators, because many of them are not necessarily passionate about the tech side. And of course, those that are sometimes a little too enamored with the tech, maybe, and forget some other pieces that are also important. But the reality is almost every, if not every year, at least every 2 years, almost requires an audit of your entire tech stack and looking at the various software platforms you have and now auditing it against the new and up and comers, because the competition is so aggressive for software platforms, in part because they're enormous industries and there's enormous prizes and incentives for those who win in those fields. It's not a brick and mortar training gem. So the innovation and disruption is happening very, very quickly, because most of these platforms are not even aimed only at training gems. So everything from your email marketing platform to your text message platform to your billing platform towards your HR platform. And it can be a little bit overwhelming. So again, the spirit of offering you a thing maybe you should do is perhaps once a year, take some time and do a dedicated audit of each of your core software platforms and look for other options. Because admittedly, one of the things that gets so entrenched when we talk about tech platforms is they invariably build something of a moat. Now, it might not be an impenetrable moat, but anybody who's done it, it is very annoying to migrate scheduling softwares. It is very annoying to migrate email softwares. But at the same time, if you're not looking at what other options there are out there, you can find yourself getting stuck in a platform that isn't really serving your needs as well or as cheaply or as efficiently as something that's come along in the past 2 years or since you've last paid attention.
Like letting the wrong CRM get its claws into you, never being able to get out. Is that Gizmo I hear over there?
That is, my dog is crying, trying to escape.
It's unfortunate.
I'm going to open the door and let him out for listeners.
Well, we can leave it there because the tech rabbit hole is a dangerous one for us to go down with a hard stop on our recording time.
Yes. And I'll give you actually one final super fast pro tip, because I can't resist but try to give you tactical things. When you're auditing vendors for a new software platform, or really almost any vendor, my suggestion is choose 3. Don't choose 1. Don't choose 9. Choose 3. Schedule 30 to 60 minutes to audit the platform via some combination of reviewing their website, reading reviews, watching videos, and potentially doing a call with a sales consultant, and then decide. You don't want to go with the first tech platform, the first vendor you hear ever is recommended, but you also don't want this to be a massive project that drags on forever and you're looking at 10 different platforms. Just do your very best to find the 3 most common ones that seem in the realm of what you're looking for, audit them, decide, integrate, move on with your life.
At which point, let the 2 vendors that don't win know that they can hit the pause button on calling you 5 days a week until 24 months from now, when Mark's prescribed self-audit happens, and you will gladly take their call again.
Yes, let them know. 2 more years, I'll be back. We'll see.
MindBody's been calling me for a decade plus, so I know how this goes.
They are a platform. All right, friends. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us as always. And as a quick reminder, if you're not subscribed for the Business Unicorns email list, you should go to the website. In addition to being alerted about podcasts, I write a content email every Thursday. It's one of my favorite things I get to write. I try to make it very actionable, very tactical, and give you some LOLs if I can. So do check us out there. You can just go to businessunicorns.com. And when the drop down comes in for your time management checklist, you can sign up for that, which is also a cool resource. And we will catch you all soon.
Thank you, Mark. And thank you, listeners.
Bye.
Hey friends, before you go, just one more thing. If you enjoy this podcast, you get value out of it, you enjoy listening, please share this podcast, comment below. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. Please share it with friends and family. We don't spend any money on marketing or advertising. And so the only way people find out about this podcast is from you. So please do everything you can to share it with friends and fellow colleagues in the fitness industry. We love making it and we want to keep doing it for a long, long time. So I appreciate your support. Go have a kick-ass day. Bye.